webinar focuses on the delivery of results checkpoint activity for 2025 to 2026. So the webinar will discuss the process for managing your contact details within Walled Garden, particularly for senior designated contacts, the submission of VTQ checkpoint data, how to check which students meet the rules of combination for a qualification, and our timelines for this process as well. So when we talk about the rules of combination for a qualification, we're talking about the assessment units which a student needs to complete in order to achieve the qualification in August. So we'll start by going through a short slide deck, then we'll have some Walled Garden demos for you, just to show you how to update your contacts, how to input your checkpoint data, and how to check the rules of combination report on Walled Garden. Okay. So moving on then. So a number of my colleagues from City and Guilds are also on the call. If you have any questions, please do submit them through the Q&A function, as you can see on the slide here. And my colleagues will answer them as we go through the webinar this afternoon. Okay, so we'll just start by going through the timeline for this activity. Okay, so there are 2 checkpoint windows in 2025 to 2026. The first checkpoint window opened on Monday, the 1st of December, for centres to submit estimated completion data no later than Friday, the 30th of January, 2026. The second checkpoint window will open on Monday, the 13th of April, for you to reconfirm the original submissions you made in the first window, making any amendments as necessary by Friday, the 1st of May. I just wanted to mention at this point that an additional centre charge of £300 per programme of study is applicable if your checkpoint data submission isn't completed by the published deadlines, and that fee does apply to both checkpoint windows. Okay, so moving on to key contacts collection. In terms of key contacts collection, we're asking you to update your centre contact information on Walled Garden during January 2026, including your senior designated contact. And we'll be saying a bit more about that later on in the webinar. And finally, on this slide, in terms of entry reconciliation, so as soon as you submit your checkpoint data for a qualification, Walled Garden will run a check on the rules of combination overnight, and that check will look at whether students who are intending to certificate in August are able to achieve their qualification based on the current assessment entries they've got. You'll then be able to access that report the following morning after about 9:30, and that report will tell you which students are able to achieve their qualification, which students aren't, and if they aren't able to do so, it will give you a little bit more information about the assessment entries that they need in order to achieve that qualification. And we'll be saying more about that later on in the webinar as well. We'll also be showing you that report on Walled Garden in a live demo a little bit later. Okay, so on this slide, we've got a bit of an overview of the delivery of results process. So in the first box here is a bit of information about who oversees this process. So this process is mandated by Ofqual. They issue guidance to all awarding organisations and centres that offer vocational and technical qualifications regarding the steps that we are required to take to ensure the timely delivery of results. Further information on that can be found on the Ofqual website. Okay, so this second box covers which City and Guilds qualifications are in scope for this activity. So the qualifications in scope are T-levels, technical qualifications, and the extended project qualification. And a full list of the qualifications in scope is published on our website within the VTQ information hub. And again, I'll be showing you later on in the webinar where you can find that information on our website. Okay, so in this third box here is a bit of information about the alignment across awarding organisations in relation to this activity. So all awarding organisations have agreed to schedule 2 term time checkpoints. For City and Guilds, the first checkpoint runs from December to January, and the second checkpoint runs from April to May. Okay, so in this fourth box is a bit more information about why we carry out this checkpoint activity. The checkpoints are designed to ensure that awarding organisations understand which students are expecting a qualification result in the forthcoming results series through the submission of expected student completion data. So we will work with the information that you provide to ensure that all students due to complete their qualification in this academic year are able to receive timely results in August. Okay, and the final box on this slide provides a bit of information about how you complete the checkpoint. So our functionality in Walled Garden enables you to submit student completion data to us directly and securely based on current active student registrations. We've also developed an area of Walled Garden for you to ensure that your contact information is up to date. And again, I'll be doing some demonstrations later on just to show you those areas of Walled Garden as well. Okay, so on this slide, we're going to look at why the delivery of results checkpoint activity is important. Okay, so the first point is fairness and parity. It ensures students receive their results at the same time as GCSE and A-level students, and that prevents students from being disadvantaged when they're applying for college, university, or apprenticeships. The second point is that this activity supports progression. So timely results are critical for students to secure places in further education or employment. Delays can mean missed deadlines for applications or offers being withdrawn. So it's important for that reason as well. Okay, the next point is regulatory compliance. So Ofqual mandates this process to maintain consistency and trust in the qualification system. Meeting these requirements protects centres and awarding organisations from compliance breaches and penalties. Okay, the next box here is it reduces risk and stress. So early checkpoints and accurate data reduce last-minute errors, ensuring results are ready for release. That avoids unnecessary pressure on staff and students. And finally, confidence in the system. So when results are delivered on time, it reinforces confidence among students, parents, employers, and education providers that VTQs are as reliable and respected as academic qualifications. So those are the 5 reasons there why this activity is important. Okay, so we'll move on now to look at some of the resources which are available for support. So on this slide is a bit more information about our VTQ information hub. So this is the single place to find all information relating to the delivery of results process. And on this slide is a list of the information which is provided through this hub. I'm not going to read all of that out now, but as I mentioned previously, I'll be showing you later on in the webinar where you can find this page on our website and where you can access some of the key resources in relation to this delivery of results process. Okay, so this slide looks at our delivery of results guidance document. This provides step-by-step guidance on how to locate the student data in Walled Garden, how to complete the data, and how to submit this. You can find this guidance on our VTQ information hub, and there is a link to the document on the slide as well for you. And we will be circulating the slides after the webinar, so you'll be able to access it directly through here or through the website as well. Okay, so this next slide, we're moving on to look at our Managing Centre Contacts guidance. So this provides a step-by-step guide on how to locate the contact management area of Walled Garden and how to add, remove and amend contacts within that area. You can find this on our VTQ information hub, and again, there is a link to the document on the slide for you. So you can access it directly through this slide. Or later on, I will be showing you how to access it on our VTQ information hub as well. Okay, so we're just going to take you through this timeline now, and we're going to start with taking a closer look at the first checkpoint window. Okay, so on this slide, we've got a bit more information for you about the first checkpoint window. So when does this open? The first checkpoint window is already open, and it will run until Friday the 30th of January 2026. What is the first window for? In the first checkpoint window, you'll be required to submit certification intention data, predicted grade, and any progression intention for each student. In terms of the reconciliation process, I've already spoken a little bit about this, and I'll be showing you in more depth later on through Wallgarden itself. But when you've submitted the checkpoint data for your students, Wallgarden will run that rules of combination report overnight. It will look at those students who are intending to certificate in August, and it will check whether they're able to do so based on the current assessment entries that they've got. And in terms of follow-up support, our team will also be reviewing this data and we'll be contacting you so that we can work together to ensure that students have been entered for all the necessary assessments and units so that they can receive their results on time in August. So we're very much working alongside you to support you in making sure that all students receive their results on time. Okay, so on this slide, we've got a high-level look at where you go to input your checkpoint data in Wallgarden. We'll go through this process in a lot more depth later on in the webinar when we do the live demonstrations. But to input the data into Wallgarden, first of all, you need to go to the Centre Services tab. That used to be called Data Services. It's now called Centre Services. And then you select Submit Delivery of Results Checkpoint Data from the drop-down menu. And you choose the qualification you would like to enter data for from the next drop-down menu down here. And you'll then be presented with a table of students for which checkpoint data is required for that qualification. And again, that will make a lot more sense later on when I show you it in Wallgarden. You'll be able to see how that works as we go through it live. Okay, so on this slide, we've got an overview of the checkpoint table. So this is what will pop up on Wallgarden when you search for a specific qualification to input the data. So at the top here in this table on the at the top, you've got the qualification code, the qualification title, the valid grades, and that's the grades that you're able to input down here under predicted grade. So if you're unsure about what the grades are, they're up here under this column. And then on the end here, we've got the checkpoint window. So that's 1225 because this checkpoint window opened in December 2025. When we get to the checkpoint window in April, that will say 0426 because that'll be when that checkpoint window opened. Moving on to this table down here, we've got the number of active registrations of students on this qualification. As you can see, there are 3 students in the table at the bottom there. We've got the number of students outstanding, so that's the number of students where you still need to complete the data submission. As you can see there, no data has been submitted. The number that have been submitted as yes, which means they are intending to certificate and achieve their qualification in August. The number submitted as no, which means they aren't intending to certificate and achieve their qualification in August. The number submitted as withdrawn, where they've withdrawn from the qualification. And the number submitted as retake. So when a student has previously certificated and they're retaking, you will mark them as retake on certification intention, and that will show up in this column here. The status here says not started because we've not yet started to input this data. And the last update is blank at the moment because we've not started to input this. But down here as well, you've got options to save and submit the data when you've inputted it on the screen here. You can also input the data by downloading and uploading a CSV file into Wallgarden, but I'll show you that in a lot more detail later on when we get onto Wallgarden itself. Okay, so moving on to the next section of our timeline now, the key contacts collection. Okay, so as part of the checkpoint activity, we do ask you to update your centre contact information in Wallgarden. You'll need to access and update that information by clicking on the Centre Services tab and then clicking on Contact Management. Within that area, you can then view and update all of your centre staff, designated contacts and qualification leads in one area within 3 tabs. And we are asking you to update your centre contact details on Wallgarden by the 30th of January as part of the first checkpoint window. Okay. So on this slide, we've got a bit of a who, why, how, and when for updating your centre contact details. Okay, so who do we ask you to provide contact details for? we ask you to provide details for the head of centre or principal, the senior designated contact, the senior designated exams office contact, the quality nominee, qualification leads and other centre staff. Why do we ask you to provide this? Keeping this information up to date helps us to contact the right people and provide the right support for you throughout the academic year. So it is really important that these details are up to date. How do we ask you to provide this? So I mentioned a little while ago, you can update this information in Centre Services in Walled Garden by clicking on the Contact Management tab in there. And when are we expecting you to provide this by? We are asking you to update your centre contacts by the 30th of January 2026 as part of the first checkpoint window, which we are in at the moment. Okay. So you can visit the Manage Your Centre Contacts page on our VTQ Information Hub for further guidance on the contacts we require you to provide, as well as a simple guide to updating your contact information in Walled Garden. As I mentioned before, I'll be showing you later how to access the VTQ Information Hub. And this slide also provides a bit more detail about each of the contacts we ask you to provide. So on here, there's a bit more information about the head of centre or principal, senior designated contact, the senior designated exams office contact, the quality nominee and the qualification leads. And we do ask you to provide other centre staff who are relevant to the delivery of these qualifications. We ask you to provide their contact details as well. Okay, so on this slide, we provided a bit more detail about nominating a senior designated contact. Okay, so it is essential for you to nominate an appropriate senior designated contact. This person must have the authority to access all information and progress decisions swiftly throughout the academic year, from the 1st of September to the 31st of August, for all matters relating to the delivery of qualifications in scope of the VTQ timely delivery of results process. So there's someone who needs to be contactable both inside and outside of term time, so that we can make sure that we can contact somebody to progress decisions swiftly in relation to this process. So this person will take responsibility to ensure that all estimated completion data is submitted accurately by the published deadline as part of the VTQ checkpoint. All relevant assessment marks, grades and evidence are submitted to us no later than the published deadline. All relevant student grades submitted to City and Guilds through results entry are valid and accurate. And every student has marks and grades submitted to enable them the opportunity to complete their qualification. Okay, so moving on then to the next stage of our timeline, the entry reconciliation process. We've already spoken a little bit about this, but I'm just going to talk about it in a little bit more depth now. Okay, so once you've submitted the checkpoint data for a programme of study, you need to complete the final step, the reconciliation process. This is built into the checkpoint activity, so you can carry out this reconciliation process quickly and efficiently via data displayed to you on Walled Garden. As I mentioned before, what will happen is when you've submitted the data for a qualification, our system will review that data overnight to check whether the students who are intending to complete their qualification in August, to check whether they're able to do so based on the current assessment entries that they've got. That will run overnight, and then the following morning after about 9:30, you'll be able to access that report through Walled Garden, and that report will tell you which students are meeting their rules of combination and are able to achieve their qualification, and which students aren't meeting the rules of combination and require additional assessment entries to do so and to achieve their qualification. It will also tell you which students, which assessments are missing for each student, and which assessments you'll need to make to enable them to, which assessment entries you'll need to make to enable them to achieve their qualification. On the centre side, that reconciliation activity will take place during the checkpoint windows. As I say, when you submit the data, that report will run overnight and you'll be able to access that the following morning. Student data is held securely in Walled Garden. It's also possible to download the data into a CSV file after submission, so you can save that locally on your systems as well. And in terms of follow-up support, our team will also be reviewing this data and contacting you regarding any discrepancies, just to ensure that all students who are expected to achieve a qualification result will have the opportunity to do so. And that review on our side takes place both during the checkpoint windows and after each checkpoint window has closed. So like I say, we do want to work very closely with you just to make sure that all students can achieve their qualifications if they're expecting to do so. Okay, so I've just mentioned this briefly, but when you've submitted your data for a qualification, Walled Garden will run that analysis overnight, and it will generate a report showing whether students meet those rules of combination. You'll be able to access this in Walled Garden from about 9:30 the following morning. A search filter is available on Walled Garden to show only students who will not be able to meet the rules of combination. And if that applies to any of your students, you'll then be able to click on the magnifying glass icon to help you view further detail and identify why the student won't meet the rules of combination and may not achieve their full qualification in August. Okay. So when you click on that rules of combination analysis icon, that little magnifying glass there, the system will display an additional section under the student's record, setting out the assessment entries and which units are missing for that student. So where you can see the determined pathway, the system will identify the number of entries the student has, and it will work out the qualification pathway from that. Under the missing units line, which is just here, you will see which units have been identified as potentially missing or incomplete for that student. And we do encourage you to utilise our centre guidance and review the examples we have provided within there for this reconciliation activity. Okay, so we're going to move on now to look at the second checkpoint window. So on this slide, we've got a bit more information about the second window. So when does this open? The second checkpoint window will open on Monday, the 13th of April, 2026, and will run until Friday, the 1st of May, 2026. Now, the reason that's a little bit shorter is because the second checkpoint window is an opportunity for you to check and confirm the data you submitted in the first window. And that data will be pre-populated into Walled Garden for you for the second window from what you entered in the first window. So this window is a little bit shorter, but it's just an opportunity to check and confirm the data you submitted in the first window. In terms of the reconciliation process, when you've submitted the checkpoint data, Walled Garden will again run that report overnight, and you'll be able to check that, as I've already mentioned, the following morning after about 9:30. And in terms of follow-up support, again, as with the first window, our team will also be reviewing this data and we'll be contacting you so that we can work together to ensure that students receive their results on time in August. Okay, and the last thing to mention on the slides here is how you can contact us for support. Okay, so if you have any questions or if you need additional support, please do contact the Centre Operations team using the details provided on this slide, and our team will be more than happy to support you with this. I'll leave that on the screen just for a moment so you can note down those details. Okay, let's move on then now to the Walled Garden demos part of the presentation. So when you log into Walled Garden, this is the home page that you will see. And at the top here, you can see your name, your centre name, your customer ID, and your centre number. So if you're looking for your centre number, you're not sure where to find that, it is just at the top here on Walled Garden. Obviously, if you work across multiple centres or multiple sites, they will all have their own unique centre number. So you do just need to be careful that you've inputted the correct centre number when you're inputting data. But if you work at one single centre, you'll have one centre number, and if you need to find that, it is just at the top there. So that's a useful tip if you're looking for that number. Okay. So we're just going to start by looking at how you input your centre contact information. So to do that, you go to the Centre Services tab up here, and that will automatically open this EDI file upload area. Now, I should just say, if you can't see the Centre Services tab, please don't contact us directly. as we won't be able to resolve that for you, unfortunately. You will have to speak to the primary account user at your centre, and they'll be able to give you access to that centre services area. So as I say, when you click on the Centre Services tab, it will automatically open this EDI file upload area. And from this drop-down menu down here, you can access a number of different areas and services within Walled Garden, including Submit Delivery of Results Checkpoint Data and View Delivery of Results Checkpoint Summary. I'm not going to click into those areas just at the moment. We'll come back to those a little bit later on. I just wanted to flag up that that's where those are located. In terms of what else is located within Centre Services within this area, you've got the evidence management area here. So if you're delivering T-levels, that's where you'll go to upload your students' evidence for the employer set project. We've got this learner scripts area here. So again, if you're delivering T-levels, that's where you'll go to find your students' exam scripts. And then we've got this contact management area on the end here. So I'm just going to click through to this contact management area now. So as you can see, within this contact management area, there are three tabs. There's a centre staff tab, a designated contacts tab, and a qualification leads tab. So on the centre staff tab, we ask you to input the contact details for all staff involved in the delivery of the qualifications, which are in scope of this checkpoint activity. And then from the list of centre staff that you've added onto here, you will be able to assign specific roles to staff, such as a designated contacts role or a qualification leads role from within these two tabs here. But you'll only be able to assign people to those roles from these tabs if you've first of all entered their details onto the centre staff area there. So we do ask you to make sure that all centre staff involved in the delivery of these qualifications are maintained on this page. So if a new staff member joins, or if a staff member's role changes, or if a staff member leaves, please do make sure that that's reflected within this list here. So why do we ask you to do this? We ask you to do this because we will be contacting you throughout the year with important updates, information, and bespoke targeted support for your centre. And we just need to make sure that we're contacting the right people, that the right people are receiving our updates, and that we're contacting the right people to offer that support to you in the delivery of these qualifications. So if I just scroll down here, you can see our list of test centre staff on the screen here. And if we're wanting to add a new member of staff, we need to click the Add New button just there. And what that will do is that will open this Add Centre Staff box for you. And you can then input the details of a new member of staff in this top section here. So I'm just going to input some fake centre staff details here. It will ask you for their first name, their last name, their email address, and their phone number. It will also ask you for their job title. So let's say that Ruben is an exams officer. Just input a fake phone number there for him. And the other thing to mention just here on the phone numbers section is there used to be a character limit on this box, which was limited to the number of digits in a phone number. We've now extended that character limit, so you are able to add extension numbers on here as well. Rather than just adding sort of a reception number, you can add extension numbers so we can reach staff more quickly. Once you've filled in these details at the top here, you'll have to complete this box underneath, which asks you to list all relevant professional qualifications, evidence of occupational competence, and recent CPD where applicable. Now that is a mandatory box, as you can see from the asterisk there, but if there's nothing to input into there, you can just type NA, but you will have to type something into that box, so just be aware of that. You'll then have to complete this declaration underneath by ticking this checkbox to confirm that the staff member meets the relevant qualification or role requirements. Now, you won't be able to save the changes to this contact unless you've ticked that box, so just be aware of that. Okay, and once you've completed this section, you can scroll down to add role and industry for the member of staff. So you can do that by clicking the arrow there to open this drop-down menu. And there are a number of different staff roles within here. So we've got admin assistant / administrator, assessment manager, assessor, and so on and so forth. There's a number of different roles on there. Now, we did say that Ruben was an exams officer, so let's select exams officer as his role. And then you're able to select an industry from this drop-down menu as well. There are a number of different industries on here, so business and management, engineering and transport, central administration, and so on and so forth. Now, Ruben is part of the exams department. He's an exams officer, so let's select exams department from there. And as you can see, that contact role has now been added at the bottom here. You can also add multiple roles to the same member of staff. So if you select add new, it will open these drop-down boxes again. And let's say that Ruben is also an admin assistant or administrator. He works in centre administration. We can add that role on as well. And once you're confident that everything's correct on here, if you click Save Changes, pop-up will display telling you that the contact has successfully saved. If you click OK, we can scroll down here. It's in alphabetical order, this list, and we can see that Ruben's been added on as a exams officer and as an admin assistant as well. To edit a member of staff's details in here, if you click the edit button next to their contact line, that will open this edit centre staff box for you. And you can then edit these details if their name's changed, their email's changed, their roles changed. You can edit those details at the top there. When you've made any changes that you need to make, you will also need to complete this declaration again. It doesn't pre-populate a tick in that box. You'll have to re-tick it every time. And you can also make adjustments to the roles down here. So you can add new roles, as I've mentioned previously. You can also remove a role. So let's say that Ruben's no longer an admin assistant. You can click the X button just there next to that role. That will remove that role from this contact. And then you can save those changes. The contact will successfully save. And as you can see, that role has now been removed from Ruben's contact line just there. To remove a member of staff from this list, let's say a member of staff has left the centre, you can click the X button next to their contact line there. It will just ask you to confirm you want to delete the contact, and if you select yes, the contact will delete. And as you can see, Ruben's name is no longer on that list there. Okay, so just move on then to look at the designated contacts tab. So there are a number of different designated contact roles listed within here. So we've got a head of centre / principal, a senior designated contact, a designated exams office contact, and a quality nominee. To assign somebody to one of these roles, you need to first enter their details onto the centre staff tab. And then let's say the quality nominee has changed. Mary Smithson's no longer the quality nominee. If you click that drop-down box there, it will open a list of the staff you've entered onto the centre staff tab. From this list, you can select the new quality nominee. So let's say that Geraldine Granger's taking over as the quality nominee. When you select a member of staff from that list, it will input their email address and phone number just there, just so that you can verify that you've selected the correct person. And if you then select save just in the corner there, it will successfully save the contact. And as you can see, that's now updated. Geraldine is now listed as the quality nominee, and that's now locked in on Walled Garden. So that's how you assign somebody as a designated contact. There's a couple of other bits I just wanted to mention on here. So in terms of the designated exams office contact, we are asking for the contact details for the most senior person in the exams team. Obviously, we recognise some centres, the exams team might just be one exams officer. In other centres, there might be a few more staff working in those in that office, in the exams office. Whatever the case may be, we are asking for the most senior person in the exams team to be inputted as the designated exams office contact. We also ask for a generic exams office email address, as you can see here. Now, the reason we do that is if we can't contact John, if he's ill or on holiday or he doesn't have access to his emails, we are then still able to contact the exams office through this this generic email address. So that's why we ask for that there. The other thing I wanted to mention, I know we've spoken about this already, but I just wanted to emphasise the importance of adding a senior designated contact. It is absolutely essential that you do that, and this must be a person who has the authority to access all information and progress decisions swiftly throughout the academic year, both in term time and outside of term time, for all matters relating to the delivery of qualifications in scope of this delivery of results process. Any issues that arise during the year will be escalated to this person for support and resolution. And as I said, we do report on the collection of senior designated contacts to Ofqual. So we have to report to them how many of these contacts we've collected from centres who are delivering these qualifications. So it is absolutely essential that you update that detail as well, please, and make sure that this contact is up to date. Okay, so finally on here, we've got the qualification leads tab. So from here, you can add a member of staff as a qualification lead. In order to do that, you need to first enter their details onto the Centre Staff tab. And then to add somebody as qualification lead on here, if you select Add New, it will open this Add Qualification Lead box for you. You can then select a member of Centre Staff from this drop-down list. So let's say that we're adding Robert Rush as a qualification lead. When you select somebody from that list, it will bring up their email address and phone number, just so that you can verify that you've selected the correct person. And you can then assign a role to them from this section down here. So let's say there's a big list of roles here, as you can see. Let's say that Robert is a T-levels lead. We can assign that from the drop-down list. Let's say that he's also a technicals lead. We can add multiple roles by clicking Add New to generate another drop-down menu here. And let's say that he's a technicals lead as well. When you're confident that this is correct, if you click Save Changes, it will successfully save the contact. And as you can see, Robert's details are now on there. So something to mention here is that you can add multiple qualification leads for the same qualification group. So you can add more than one T-levels lead, for example. That wasn't the case in the past. We have previously only allowed you to add one lead for each qualification group, so one T-levels lead, one technicals lead, and so on and so forth. But you can now add multiple members of centre staff as qualification leads for the same qualification group. That change has been made because we do recognise that obviously multiple members of staff are involved in the delivery of these qualifications across centres. So we do now allow you to add more than one member of staff as a lead for each qualification group. To edit a member of staff on the qualification leads area, if you select the edit button next to their contact line, and let's say that Robert is no longer a technicals lead, he's now just a T-levels lead. We can click the X button next to technicals lead. That will remove that role from his profile here. Select Save Changes. The contact will successfully save. And as you can see, he's now listed just as a T-levels lead. If you want to remove a member of centre staff from here, then you can do so by clicking the X button next to their contact line. Wallgarden will just ask you to confirm you want to delete the contact. And if you just select yes there, that will successfully delete the contact. And as you can see, Robert's no longer listed on there as a qualification lead. So I think that's everything on the contact management section. But just to emphasise again, we are asking you to update these centre contact details by the 30th of January as part of the first term time checkpoint. It's particularly important to update the senior designated contact details, but we are asking you to update all of these contact details. Make sure everything's up to date on here by the 30th of January, please. Okay. So we'll move on then now to look at how to input the checkpoint data for the delivery of results checkpoint. So to do that, you need to navigate to the Centre Services tab again. As I said before, that will automatically open this EDI file upload section. And from the drop-down menu here, you can then select Submit Delivery of Results Checkpoint Data or View Delivery of Results Checkpoint Summary. I'm just going to start by selecting the checkpoint summary, and I'll show you that first of all. So once you've selected that, you will then have to input your centre number. As you can see, I've got 2 numbers on here, and that's because I'm listed as working across 2 centres, our 2 test centres here. But if you work at just 1 centre, you will just have 1 number on that drop down there. So once you've inputted that information, if you click search, it will take a few seconds for this table to load. And obviously it won't tell you that it's loading, that something's happening, but it is loading in the background, and as you can see, it's loaded here on the screen. Another tip here is if you're wanting a bit more space to look at this data, you can press the little red arrow there just to close this search area off, and that will give you a bit more space on the screen, and that's particularly useful when you're dealing with these big tables of data. So this is the delivery of results checkpoint summary. And what this does is it provides a really useful overview of the delivery of results checkpoint activity across your centre. So I'll just run through what's on these tables here. So in this top table, you've got the checkpoint window in the left-hand column. As I said, that's 12:25 because it's the December 2025. That's when the checkpoint opened. When the checkpoint opens in April, it will say 0426, so on and so forth. You've then got the number of active registrations. So that's the total number of active student registrations on qualifications, which are in scope of this delivery of results checkpoint right across this centre number. You've then got the number outstanding. So that's the number of students where you still need to input the delivery of results checkpoint data, where you've not yet started that submission. We've got the number submitted as yes, which means that they are intending to certificate and achieve their qualification in August. We've got the number submitted as no, which is the number who aren't intending to certificate and achieve their qualification in August. The number submitted as withdrawn, who've withdrawn from the qualification. And the number submitted as retake here. So if a student's previously certificated and they're retaking, they would be in that column there. We've then got the number not meeting the rules of combination. So it will tell you after the rules of combination reports have run overnight, it will tell you the number not meeting the rules of combination across the centre, across the various qualifications that you deliver. Then we've got the last submission date here. So that's when data was last submitted for this centre. And then we've got the rules of combination last update here. So as you can see, the last submission date was the 5th of December. The rules of combination report then runs overnight. So the last rules of combination report ran on the 6th of December. And that's what those N2 columns are showing there. If you scroll down here, we've got a list of all the qualifications that your centre is delivering that have active registrations and that are in scope of this checkpoint activity. So moving across this table, we've got the qualification code, the qualification title, the number of active registrations on the qualification, the number outstanding where the data submission's not yet been started, the number submitted as yes, the number submitted as no, the number submitted as withdrawn, the number submitted as retake, the number not meeting the rules of combination, and then you've got this status column here. So this status column will tell you the status of the data submission for that qualification. So this one at the top says submitted because we've fully submitted that checkpoint data for that qualification. There's quite a few under here that you can see saying not started because we've not yet started to submit the checkpoint data for those qualifications. And if you scroll down, there'll be some that say in progress like that. And what that means is that you've put some data into Wallgarden, you've saved some data in Wallgarden, but you've not yet submitted it finally into our system. So that will show as in progress there. Then we've got the checkpoint window. Again, the last submission date for these qualifications and the last time the rules of combination report ran. So another useful tip for what you can do with this data is you can sort it by clicking on the column header. So if you want to sort the data from the most active registrations to the least, if you click on that column header, it will then sort it from the qualification with the most active registrations to the qualifications with the least at the bottom there. Or if you want to sort that the other way around, you can also do that as well, from least to most registrations. And you can do that with all of these column headers. So if you want to sort it by the number not meeting the rules of combination, most to least, you can do that. Or least to most, you can do that as well. So that's a really useful way of sorting that data there to help you to navigate it more easily. This table will update as people across the centre input data. So if you've got multiple people across the centre submitting data as part of this activity, it will update as people make data submissions. So it does provide an up-to-date picture of the status of the checkpoint across your centre. You can also print this page. So if you press Control and P, you're able to save it as a PDF, or you can print it so that you have it on paper as well, if you need it on paper for whatever reason that may be. Okay, so this is a really useful, as I say, a really useful overview of where you're at with the data submission right across your centre. Okay, so I'm just going to move on now to look at how we input the checkpoint data. So if you press this little red arrow here to bring back this search box, from the drop-down menu, select Submit Delivery of Results Checkpoint Data, and this is within Centre Services, the EDI file upload area, and then this drop-down menu here. You'll then have to select your centre number again, just underneath there, and then you'll have to select the qualification that you want to input data for. So this will provide a list of the qualifications that your centre has active registrations for that are in scope of this checkpoint activity. And we've obviously got quite a lot of test centre data on here, as you can see. But this list will be longer or shorter depending on how many qualifications you are currently delivering that are in scope of this process. So I'm just going to load one of our test cohorts here. Whoopsie daisy. Just going to load one of our test cohorts here. So let's load this one. So you'll have to select the qualification from there. If you then click search, what that will do is it will open this area and it basically provides an overview of the data submission for the checkpoint just for this specific qualification. Before we look at this in more detail, I just want to mention the additional filters that we've got on the side here. So you can search for a student by enrolment number, first name, and last name as well. I think when you're making the initial data submission, it makes more sense to do that on a cohort-wide basis from this screen here, or by downloading and uploading a CSV, as I'll show you later. But I think those filters will come in particularly useful if you've got to make amendments for one particular student. If you've got a big list of students and you don't want to search through to find the one student you need to change, it'll be really useful to use those filters to search that data. There's a couple of other filters just under here. So there's a checkbox here to show all previously certificated students only. So if you've got a student who's previously certificated, but they're looking to retake to improve their grade, you can search for just those students by ticking that box and clicking search, and that will filter just to those students. You can also search only for students where the rules of combination cannot be achieved by ticking that box there and pressing search. We won't look at that right now because, as you can see, we've not entered any data yet on this qualification, so the rules of combination analysis hasn't yet run. But I'll show you how to use that filter a little bit later on. Okay, so when you look at this summary for this qualification, we've already looked at this on the slideshow, but I'll just reiterate what I mentioned then about these top tables. So you've got the qualification code in the left-hand column here. You've got the qualification title. You've got the valid grades, and that's a list of the grades that you're able to input under the predicted grade column just here. And then you've got the checkpoint window just at the end there as well. Under this table, you've then got the number of active registrations on the qualification. As you can see, we've got 4 students here. We've got the number outstanding, so where the data submission's not yet happened or not yet taken place. As you can see, we've got 4 students where we still have to input the data. The number submitted as yes, the number submitted as no, the number submitted as withdrawn, the numbers submitted as retake, the status, which is not started because we've not yet inputted any data, and the last update, which is blank because we've not yet done any updates to this data submission here. So if it's a small number of students like we've got here, it's probably much simpler to just go through the data on the screen and add in the data through this method rather than downloading a CSV file like I'll show you later on. So we'll just start to fill in this data here. So let's say that Joe is intending to certificate and achieve his qualification in August, or to pass this component in August. We would mark it as yes under there for certification intention, just to indicate that he is going or intending to certificate in August. If you mark somebody as yes in this column, that will open up the predicted grade and progression indicator boxes here for you to input data as well. So under predicted grade, you've got a list of grades here, which is also up here, as I mentioned. Just something to watch out for on this list. If you are entering someone's predicted grade as A star or distinction star, it won't say A and then an asterisk, and it won't say D and then an asterisk. It will say AS or DS. So just watch out for that as well. Let's say that Joe's predicted grade is an A. We'll then need to input progression intention or progression indicator just under here as well. So there are 4 options on here. So you've got UCAS, which is if the student is relying on the qualification for progression to university. Employment, if they're relying on the qualification for progression to employment. Other, if they're relying on it for progression to a different pathway. Or not applicable if they're not relying on the qualification for progression. So let's say that Joe is relying on his qualification for progression to university. We'd mark that down there as U for UCAS under the progression column there. Moving on then to James, the next student down. Let's say that he's not intending to certificate. If you select somebody as no for certification intention, the predicted grade and progression indicator columns will remain grayed out. Obviously, if he's not intending to certificate, there won't be a predicted grade and he won't be relying on the qualification for progression. So those 2 columns will remain grayed out. When you're inputting somebody as no for certification intention, that might be if they're in the first year of a 2-year course. Or for example, with the T-level, you might have registered them on the occupational specialism and they might not be due to complete that until next year. So in those circumstances, you would put no for that as well. That's just a couple of examples of where you might input the data as no for certification intention. Moving on then to Heather, the next student down. Let's say that Heather has withdrawn from the qualification. We would mark that as withdrawn under certification intention. And again, if you mark somebody as withdrawn, predicted grade and progression indicator will remain grayed out. Obviously, if she's withdrawn from the qualification, there won't be a predicted grade and there won't be a progression indicator for what she's relying on the qualification for. So they will remain grayed out there. If you do enter a student as withdrawn, their registration will be withdrawn on the 1st of September in the next academic year. So students marked as withdrawn in this year's checkpoint data will have their registration ended on the 1st of September 2026. So let's just move on then to the final student here. So Jennifer, let's say that Jennifer is intending to certificate in August. Her predicted grade is a B, and she's relying on this qualification for progression to employment. When you've inputted this data here and you're happy with it, you can then just click Save here. Walled Garden will tell you that the data has been successfully saved. When you've done that and you've saved some data, you can see here the status is updated to in progress. The last update is now filled in. It says the 11th of December when I've just inputted that data now. But at this stage, the data is not submitted into our system. It's just saved. So if you do want to make further changes at this point, you're able to do so. So let's say that Jennifer then decides to withdraw from the qualification. You can edit that there. And it's really important to make sure that you then press save again, just to make sure that that data is saved after you've made that adjustment there. When you're certain that this data is correct, you can then click ready to submit. And what that will do is that will open up this submission declaration at the bottom here. And you'll be required to tick this box to approve this declaration at the bottom. Please do read that really carefully. Just make sure that you've met all of the criteria set out in this declaration here. When you're confident that that's the case, if you click the little checkbox there to tick the declaration, click confirm. Walled Garden will just say, are you sure that you want to submit the data? If you click OK, it will tell you that the data has been successfully submitted. And as you can see, this data has now been submitted. It's grayed out. We're not able to make any additional changes here now because this data has been locked in and submitted to our system. The status at the top here will change to submitted. And what will then happen, I know I've mentioned this a few times already, but it's always bears repeating. What will then happen is that data will get published into our system, and then overnight our system will assess the assessment entries that those students have. It will check whether they are able to meet the rules of combination and achieve their qualification based on the current assessment entries. And then it will generate a report which you'll be able to access from 9:30 the following morning. And that report will tell you if the student meets the rules of combination. And if they don't, it will tell you which assessment entries you need to make for them in order for them to meet the rules of combination and achieve that qualification. So that report will only focus on the students marked as yes. So obviously, if a student's marked as no or withdrawn, the system won't look at whether they're able to achieve the qualification because they're not intending to. So it will only look at the students that are marked as yes, and I'll show you that report in a little bit more detail later on in the webinar. Okay, so I just wanted to mention at this point, when you're submitting the data for a T-level, which we are here, you will have to submit separate checkpoint data for the core component and the occupational specialism, as you will have to make a separate registration on each of those components. So what I'm going to do now is you can complete the data on screen, but you can also complete it by downloading and uploading a CSV file. So I'm just going to load a different cohort, and I'll show you how to upload the data, download the data and upload the data via CSV file. So let me just find the appropriate one. So I just click here and then click search again, and that will load this new qualification on the screen. Now, as I said, for T-levels, you will have to submit separate data for the core component and the occupational specialism, as you do make a separate registration on each of those components. So as you can see on the screen here, these are some of the same students who we've just submitted data for. So what we were doing previously was we were submitting data for their core component. We're now submitting data for their occupational specialism, and we do have to do that separately. Okay, so in terms of this summary at the top here, it's set out in the same way as it was on the last qualification we looked at. So I won't go through those tables again now. So to update the data on Walled Garden via a CSV file, you'll need to click download just here, and that will download this CSV file to your computer. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop here. I will just mention at this point, please don't change the file type. It's really important that you leave that as a CSV, comma-separated values file, otherwise the data submission will fail. And please don't amend this file name either. We do ask that you leave that the same, because if we ever then need to find that file in our systems further down the line to provide you with additional support or assistance with the process, it makes it a lot easier to find the file if it's kept in this format with the center number there, the qualification code there, the date of the submission there. So that makes it a lot easier for us to find that file and provide appropriate support for you further down the line. So so please don't change that file name either. So I'll just save that to my desktop, and if I then open up my desktop, I can then open the file from there, and that will then open this CSV file. So when you open this, you might get an error message or a box asking if you want to remove leading zeros. Please say no or decline that option, because what that will do is it will remove any zeros at the start of any of this data. That's not an issue with this cohort because there aren't any zeros at the start of this data. But if you had a cohort where there were leading zeros and you removed them, the data submission would fail when you put the CSV file back into walled garden. So it's really important that you don't remove the leading zeros from that data as well. So what this does, this CSV file, is it gives you access to the same data that you can see on screen in walled garden. So if you look at columns I, J, and K here, we've got certification intention, predicted grade, and progression indicator, and that mirrors what we've got on walled garden: certification intention, predicted grade, and progression indicator. So when you're filling in this CSV file, you should only be entering data into columns I, J, and K there. You shouldn't be entering data into any other columns on this CSV, and you shouldn't be amending any of that other data on there either. So let's complete this data for these students here. Let's say that Joe is intending to certificate. Under predicted grade, if I'm unsure of the predicted grades I can just find them there in that valid grades section at the top. So let's say he's predicted to achieve a distinction, and he's relying on this qualification for progression to university. So we'd put U in the box just there. And then if we move on to James, let's say that he's not intending to certificate. And let's say that Heather has withdrawn from the qualification. If that's the case, you wouldn't need to, so if somebody's a no or a withdrawn, you wouldn't need to enter additional data into these fields here, because obviously, as I've mentioned previously, if they're not intending to certificate or they've withdrawn from the qualification, there won't be a predicted grade and there won't be a progression indicator either. Another thing to mention when you're doing the data submission in this way is you do have to use the codes. So Y for yes, N for no, W for withdrawn, D for distinction, U for UCAS, so on and so forth. You can't type the full word into there. So if you put yes, the data upload will fail. I'm going to leave that error there just deliberately just to show you what will happen if you do that. So I'll just save the file there. If I then go back to walled garden, I can click choose file. I'm then able to select that CSV from there, double check it's the correct file. And if I click upload, it will give me an error message there. Completion data length does not match. And that's because I've left the full word yes in there. So if I reopen that file, get rid of the word yes and type Y, save that file again, close it down there, click choose file, select the file from my desktop, double check that it's the correct file. In that little preview I can see there. And then if I click upload, it will populate that data into walled garden from that CSV file. So when you've populated this data into walled garden, you can still amend it within here. So let's say that James has changed from no, he's not intending to certificate, to yes, he is. I can change that within here. I can input a predicted grade for him and a progression indicator. And it's really important that when you're uploading data or you're making any changes like that, you do then click save to make sure that that data is preserved. As you can see, the data will successfully save. That will change to in progress, and there'll be a last update. There'll be something written in that column now as well, because we've just updated that data. When you're ready to submit, it's in the same way as before. So if you just click ready to submit, carefully read this declaration. And make sure that you've met all the criteria within there. When you're sure, if you click that little checkbox there, click confirm, walled garden will just double check with you that you want to submit the data. Select OK. The data will successfully submit. And as you can see, that data is now grayed out in here. We're not able to make any more changes to that data. And that will submit into our system, and the rules of combination report will run overnight, as I've mentioned previously. When you've submitted data like this, you are able to download it. And if I save as and save that file on my desktop, if I then click Open File, this allows me to then save the data that we've submitted on Walled Garden. I'm able to save it locally. So if you want to save it locally on your systems, you're able to do that by clicking Download and downloading this CSV file there. Okay, so as I've mentioned many times over the last hour or so, when you've submitted the data, the rules of combination report will run overnight. So I'm just going to show you now how that will look. So I'm just going to load another test qualification or test cohort here. Click search. And as you can see, this data has been fully submitted. We're not able to make any additional changes. And the rules of combination report has now run on these students. So as I mentioned earlier, you can filter this list so it only shows students where the rules of combination cannot be achieved. Lilac Fergus, as you can see here, she's been entered as no, she's not intending to certificate. So there isn't a rules of combination report for her. She's not intending to certificate, so the system doesn't need to check if she's meeting the rules of combination to achieve her qualification. But the other two students, Beryl and Donald, the report has run on them because they are intending to certificate, so it needs to check if they're able to do so. And if you check that checkbox there and click search, it will remove all students other than those where the rules of combination cannot be achieved. If you click the little magnifying glass just here, that will open this little box underneath, and it will tell you the pathway that the system has tried to determine, and it will tell you which assessment entries are missing for this student to achieve that qualification. So as you can see, Beryl doesn't meet the rules of combination for the qualification at this stage. She hasn't got all of the necessary assessment entries she needs to achieve that qualification in August. And it will tell you which additional assessment entries you need to make for her in order for her to achieve that qualification. If you did make that entry, if you entered Beryl for Unit 505, the system would then update overnight again, and she would no longer appear on this list because she would then meet the rules of combination for this qualification, and she would be removed from this list within Walled Garden for you. Okay. You can also look at this data through CSV files. So if you click download, save as, and then save that to the desktop there. When I then open this file, you can see that these three end columns are now also populated with the same information that was within that little report we just looked at on Walled Garden. So it's got the pathway that the system has tried to determine for the qualification. It's got the units that the students are missing and which you'll need to enter them for them to achieve their qualification. And it's got the last time the rules of combination report ran. That's just in that end column there. So I think I won't save that. There we go. I think that's probably everything in terms of the Walled Garden demonstrations. I am just going to show you now how to access the information you need from our website. So if you go to cityandguilds.com, that will open up this homepage here. If you then go to qualification delivery, just hover over that at the top. The VTQ information hub is just there. And that will open this VTQ information hub for 2025 to 2026. So there's a number of different tabs on here where you're able to click through these tiles to different bits of information. So we've got VTQ communications, manage your centre contacts, VTQ timely delivery of results, key submission dates, results dates, an information area for students and parents, the technicals resource hub, the T-levels resource hub, and the exam support hub there. So if I just scroll up, I'll show you where to access the support with managing your centre contacts. If you click through to this manage your centre contacts page, there's a range of different resources on here for you. So you can access that centre guide that we mentioned earlier from this red box on the right hand side. As you can see, that guidance is there. You can also access it with this little button here. As you can see, that opens that guidance again there. Further down here, these drop-down menus each provide a little bit more information about these particular roles and contact types that we ask you to enter. So you can get a bit more information from there as well. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to have to take a drink of water. And by clicking this download our guide link here, you can also open this this guide that we showed during the webinar slides earlier on. And that's really helpful, again, in just providing a bit more information about each of these contact types. And that can help you when you're uploading your centre staff details to that tab on Walled Garden. Okay. So I think that's everything on this page here for the centre contacts. If we just go back to the information hub, you can access our VTQ timely delivery of results page from this tile here. And when you open this, if you scroll down here, there's a lot of information contained within these various drop-down menus. So you've got video guides, qualifications in scope, centre responsibilities, VTQ checkpoint timeline, checkpoint activities, completing the checkpoint in Walled Garden, assessment entry reconciliation process, withdrawn students, late completion fee, and Key Stage 4 technical awards cash-in. Then there's a couple of other accordions drop-down menus at the bottom here: contingency planning and exam disruption, and resources for exams officers. I'm not going to go through all of these drop-downs now because there's quite a lot of information in there, but that's how you navigate to this page, and that's where you can access a lot of that information from. This little box on the right-hand side gives you access to your centre guidance document. So if you open that there, it will open that delivery of results guidance that we mentioned before. And that provides a step-by-step guide for completing the data submission. And it provides a bit more information on the reconciliation process in there as well for you. So that's how you navigate to that information on our website. Just to reiterate, if you need any help or support or guidance with this process, if you've got any questions or you need any additional support, please do contact our centre operations team using these details here.